Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the channel Meet Neat Made Easy by Aisha. I hope you all are having a great time. So let us start with the first. Uh, let us start with our live session. I hope you are able to see the slide. Live process. Let us. I hope you are able to see the Yes, so let us see today's class. So just please respond whether you are able to see the slide or not. Please respond. Yes. So as you can see here in the live screen introduction, mostly the process by which we together perform the basic functions, right, of the life are called as the life process, such as nutrition, respiration, excretion and transportation. In all the unicellular, all the processes are carried out mostly by the single cell, isn't it? And these single cell mostly consists of like amoeba, spirogyra. Just a minute. Yes. Now, the maintenance of living organism is very much essential in as we move on. Like for example, day-to-day activities such as nutrition, excretion, and respiration. These are all the day-to-day's life where we have to consider as day-to-day performance of every single organisms has to be done. So the process to which they perform in order to maintain their life, like day-to-day daily work, has to be called as the life process. Now, nutrition, respiration, excretion, and circulation are the example of life, are the main essential requirement, basic requirements of the life process. And this mostly in unicellular organisms, all they carried out within one cell. That means in a single body, all the nutrition, respiration, excretion, and transportation, everything will be happen in a single cell. And such cell we call them as the unicellular. Whereas in multicellular organisms, where the body is made up of complex structure, like there is no single cell, it is a multiple of different types of cells, and each cell performs its own specific function. Because of that, we call them as a multicellular, where the body is made up of complex structures. Okay, and to carry out this process, yeah, just a minute. Now, next, we have once these are all, let us move to the details of every section in details, like nutrition and in plants and nutrition in animals. Let us carry it out in nutrition in plants and nutrition in animals. Now, as you can see here, the life process, as you can see here, there is a cycle which keeps on rotating, and here there is a reproduction topic, which is also one of the life process but we don't carry out on a daily basis, right? It is always carried after certain period of time, once the body has attained the puberty, and then followed by the menarche and menopause. After that, this part is going to be eliminated, but the rest of the body lead nutrition, digestion, all the nutrition whatever is taken is transported and respirated for the breakdown, and then excreted, that is removed out of our body. Now, now let us move to the next part. That is, next we have a difference between the autotrophic and the heterotrophic nutrition. Now, the process of acquiring food, or even we can take it as the utilization of the food needed for nourishment. Nourishment means for the proper growth and development and sustainable sustains of an organism in order to basically survive. These are called as a nutrition. So, okay, next, the main two methods of nutrition are mostly the autotrophic and the heterotrophic. Now, the autotrophic are the one where they are the organisms which makes their food by themselves, or self-made food. Can we make our own food? Obviously we cook the food, but we cannot our body take that processed food, and still it is been used for the breakdown of some complex substances into the simple. So these autotrophic, especially all the green plants, all the majority of the green plants are used by the by autotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, now just a minute. I'll just make the network little bit stable so that it will be helpful for you. Yes, I hope now it is visible. Yes. Now, the next part is the autotrophic. As we were discussing, let us go in detail about the autotrophic, mostly the photosynthesis, the photosynthetic part of the plants, the process by which the plants prepare their food is known as the photosynthesis. Next, next part is now, as you know, the photosynthesis is derived from a Latin word called as the which is photo means light, synthesis means producing of energy, or the synthesis of a food with the help of the light. So these together we call them as the combining together with the help of with the help of light, we produces the energy. Now, this energy can be taken into different ways. Now, if every part has a, now as you can see here, there is a plant which is here photosynthesis, where the plant use this energy and converted it into a chemical energy in order to derive oxygen as a byproduct and glucose in the form of the starch. And all these are considered as the cellular organelles. The cellular organelles such as the chloroplast plays an important role in in making or preparing the food into different forms. Now, as you can see here, each chloroplast contain green pigment called as chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is the one which providing the green color to the plants, and due to that only the all the majority of the plants are appeared as green in color. Now, the byproduct of the sugar such as glucose and fructose, and this is further breakdown into a starch. So we utilize the glucose in the form of a starch, and these sugars are often sent back, means in the form of energy. It is sent to the root, stem, leaves, and other parts of the plant body so that they can do their day-to-day activity or the growth and development of the plants. Now, hence we call them this as a, there is a biochemistry, right? Now, next. Next, we have the plants, which how this the process actually taking place. Photosynthesis is one of the important process. It is one of the important process by which the actually the plants make food for themselves. These plants make use of sunlight, water, and soil from water and minerals from the soil, carbohydrate from the plants it is produced, and carbon dioxide is utilized from the atmosphere. All these are taken in order to break the molecules into simple by using or converting light energy into a chemical energy by breaking down the water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. Now, this hydrogen is then utilized to reduce carbon dioxide to a starch or carbohydrate, which is the simplest form of carbohydrate. Now, chlorophyll is one of the important essential requirement for photosynthesis, because in this chlorophyll, the stomata which help to exchange the gases and remove the excess of water which is required during the transpiration. So when these work, the process of photosynthesis is going on, the we will get a product, right? So whatever you input, there should be some output. So when these is coming, you can see 6 carbon dioxide is being utilized. Carbon dioxide, the molecules from the atmosphere, with the 6 molecules of water, we get a byproduct of C6H12 and O6. This is the complex starch which is produced in the simplest form of carbohydrate, along with the water, oxygen, as well as the excess of water that is in the present in the form of water vapor. These are all being used to produce the byproduct of photosynthesis. Now, the next step. Now, as you can see here photosynthesis, how photosynthesis how photosynthesis is being utilized, right? So how the energy is being carried out, and oxygen is given as a byproduct, and the sugar molecules which is in the form of starch is being given as a food, like fruit and vegetables. We get it for our survival and for our food purposes. Now, next is, as you can see, there is a equation. The equation is very important from exam point of view. As you see here, as you know that this is a very important question. Write the reaction of photosynthesis, or they might even ask what are the byproduct of photosynthesis. In that case, you should be able to define them in this. Okay, next. Next, the events, right? The events and sources of photosynthesis. Light, as I have already discussed, events and sources are very important part of photosynthesis, as well as one of the important question from exam point of view, right? From exam point of view, it's going to be asked in separately for 2 marks. So light from sun, water and minerals from the soil, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and stomata from the chloroplast. That is the chloroplast where the stomatas are present on the tiny surface of the leaf, tiny pores on the surface of the leaf. And the first event which takes place during the photosynthesis process is the absorption. The second step is the conversion of light energy, and the third step is the reduction of carbohydrate, carbon dioxide to carbohydrate. Next, now, when these full process is going on, there is something is happening in the overall system. The first one is whatever the byproduct, that is when we utilize carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, water, from water and soil minerals, in the presence of sunlight, we get glucose and oxygen. What happens to this oxygen? This oxygen, which is produced during the photosynthesis, is transported, is produced in the form of photosynthesis. Next, transported in the form of sucrose, and then again stored in the form of starch. That is starch, which is nothing but the fruit, ultimately, the fruit which we get it. So it is produced in the form of glucose, transported in the form of sucrose, and it is stored in the form of starch, right? So the main which plays an important role in exchanging of those gases is the stomata. And the stomata has a chlorophyll which helps to trap the sunlight and convert them into a chemical energy, right? So these chlorophylls like chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, xanthophylls and carotenoids are used. Now, when this process of photosynthesis is going on, there are few factors which can affect the photosynthesis or the rate of photosynthesis, such as the light intensity. There is no sufficient supply of light. Imagine in the dark night, in the late night, how does the photosynthesis takes place when there is an absence of sunlight? So the rate of photosynthesis automatically decreases. Then the concentration of carbon dioxide. Higher the concentration of carbon dioxide helps in increasing the rate. So it is directly proportional. The amount of carbon dioxide is utilized, the amount of rate, the rate of photosynthesis is also increased. They are directly proportional. Now, carbon dioxide example, usually it is in the range of 300 to 400 ppm, it is which is enough, adequate for photosynthesis to perform. And temperature should be between 25 to 30 will be considered as an optimum temperature for any plants to perform the photosynthesis. Now, water becomes the important factor in photosynthesis, right? It is an important factor for photosynthesis. In case if the water is not sufficiently supplied to any plants, what happens? You might have seen in your home, right? You have plant, if 3 to 4 2 days is over, more than 48 hours is over, and you have not supplied water to the plant, what happened? They start slowly changing their leaves will start slowly losing their green color, and they slowly turn into yellow, then into a dry state, and finally the death of the leaves, and the leaf will be fall from the plant. So then slowly drying of the stem, and eventually it might lead to the death of the plant also. The scarcity of water leads to the refusal of stomata opening to retain the. Now, here the stomata play an important role, not only in help in exchanging of gases, but it also stores water. Okay, as they store in the guard cells, and the few excess of water molecules is also being stored, and that help them to easily to store whenever the plants need water. When there is a no sufficient supply of water, these stomata will utilize the stored water, and the normal process is being carried out. Then pollution such as pollutants, germs, or any kind of dust particles may also settle on the leaf surface, and these will block the stomata open, the pores of stomata. This will block the stomatal pore, which make it difficult to take the enough oxygen in their body so that they can perform the photosynthesis. So I hope this is very clear. Anybody has doubt till here, they can just text me so that I can respond. Okay, so this Rishit Shekhar. Okay, fine. I hope if you are able to understand. If I'm a little bit fast, let me know. I'll just make sure that I slow down my speed, and I'll try to go. Whether it is one or many, my intention is only to make you to learn as your exams are very near. This is specially made for my students who are interested. They can stay back, and those who are not interested, please mind your other works, because time is very important, right? You can't waste your time on things which you are not which is not important to you, right? So those who are interested, those who really need, only those can. You are late, Bubalan, but anyway, you can rewind it and you can watch. That's not a problem. So, if anywhere you have a doubt, you can clear your doubts with me at any time. Okay. So let us start with the next concept, right? So as I was discussing in the class, right, the more amount of the more number of stomatas which are present on the outer epidermis layer of the leaf, which is the here, as you can see here, there is a section of the leaf which the center part which is detected, I mean, which is has been displayed here. You can see here. Yes. Now, as I was discussing in the factors which can affect the rate of photosynthesis, right? Here, when there is a light dependent reaction, especially the daytime, you can see there is a natural light, sunlight is there, which is giving the enough energy for the plants to prepare their food. But when there is no light, there is no sunlight, I mean during the night time, during the dark reaction, it takes place in the, even at the night time, the photosynthesis takes place, right? So at the night time, that time where there is no need, they are independent, even then the photosynthesis, where they will convert the use the ATP which is stored during the daytime and utilize at the night time, and make a energy molecule which is in the form of ATP, and then the normal process is being taken out. So based on their requirements of a light and absence of light, they have given as light dependent and light independent reaction, which we call them as the otherwise light reaction and dark reaction. Now during light reaction dependent on the presence of light mostly in the daytime, where energy is being enough energy is being produced, harvested, result in the production of ATP and NADH, nicotine amide diphosphate production molecules. Okay. Next, whenever there is a dark reaction during the night time, when there is a no light, in the absence of light, it is the dark reaction is independent of the presence of light, where synthesis of reaction or production of the ATP is being done, which required the ATP and NADPH, which is produced in the daytime, is utilized in the nighttime for the process of photosynthesis. Yes, next. Now, as we know that light dependent reaction, all the grana or the chloroplast, right? You have studied in your grade 8 or grade 9 standard, the chloroplast, where we have a grana, a member bounded sac like structures which are present inside the thylakoid of the chloroplast. They are called, they help in capturing or observing the sunlight, and during the process of photosynthesis they are called as the photosystem. And for that they need pigments. These are nothing but the large complex of pigments are produced during the daytime within the plant cell, and they play a very important role during the process of light reaction of photosynthesis, mostly the photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. During the photosystem 1, where they use this light and ATP is converted in, energy is light energy is converted into adenosine triphosphate and nicotinamide phosphate molecules, which are used in the second phase, that means during the dark reaction. Now during the light reaction, the ATP molecules which are generated, they are in the form of electron transport chain. They transport these energy molecules in the form of a chain, that is which have a positively charged particles, right? Now, this water is used and the oxygen is produced as a normal process, which we have studied in the photosynthesis process. As you can see here, where the water molecules are utilized apart from the other phosphate, adenine, and adenine nucleotide molecules in order to obtain the oxygen molecules along with the form of ATP, three molecules of ATP. Right. Now, next, we have a dark reaction, usually at night time. What happens in the night time? Obviously, no sunlight, dark room temperature. Even that time, the carbon fixation reactions takes place, right? These reactions are nothing but the chloroplast, the stroma of the chloroplast, where they utilize these energy molecules in order to obtain in the form of a Calvin cycle phosphorylation, breakdown of glucose molecules in the cytoplasm or in the mitochondria. These reactions which are taking place in the Kelvin cycle during the light reaction derive their reaction and converted into the six carbon dioxide molecules into simple sugar molecules, right? These will help them to convert mainly this reaction. So as a grade 10, if you are a grade 10, you don't have to concentrate on the light reaction and dark reaction. It is only you need to know that even during the night time there is a photosynthesis which is carried out, but where the energy is utilized, whatever the energy is produced during the daytime is utilized ATP molecules at the night time in order to perform the photosynthesis. That is what you need to. But if you are a grade 12 student or if you are preparing for a NEET, this full detailed explanation along with the reaction is very much needed, because in one of the NEET paper they have asked the byproduct of photosynthesis during the night, during the dark reaction or even the light reaction, they might ask you, right? Able to understand or anything? If I'm little bit faster means I'll reduce my speed. Anybody who is there, please give a thumbs up. Hey Mang, Bubalan, whoever is online, please give a thumbs up so that I can move ahead or I can wait. Or if you have any question related to till the photosynthesis, you can put your question or any doubt so that I can clarify. Or shall I move ahead? Now, nutrition is in animals. The best and the most interesting usually takes here is the animal nutrition, one of the important topic along with the diagram. So but if it's an exam point of view, if you are only considering this, only the key points which I have written you can consider. But let us go a little more. As you know, the nutrition is nothing but the way, the mode of or the process of intake of food and utilization by the body is called as the nutrition. The component of food such as like carbohydrate, proteins, amino acids, lipids are such things. Complex components are broken down into simple substances, we call them as digestion. And the mode of taking the food varies from different to different organisms. Now, example, we human beings swallow, we just chew the food and we take it. But few organisms or few animals like infant of humans and many other animals feed on mother's milk and we swallow the food. And bees and hummingbirds, they suck the nectar of the plants. This is their mode of nutrition. That means the mode of taking the food inside their body. How exactly? Now, snakes like python swallows the animals completely, and then the body digests the whole animals, right? Next, now some animals like tiny particles like insects, all they feed on them. Next part. Now, when it comes to human, the main part of the alimentary canal is the, as you can see here, this the buccal cavity, food pipe, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and which is extended to the rectum and the anus. The these are together forms the alimentary canal, or we call them as the digestive tract. So in exam, if they ask the alimentary canal means this is, but when they ask the question by asking the human digestive system, you need to consider as liver, pancreas, also pancreas as the associated glands in the digestion process. They don't take part in digestion, but they help in the digestion process. Now, this is the main step by step process of human digestive system. As you can see here, the first step is the ingestion, which is nothing but the intake of food through our mouth. What happens in the mouth? Mouth have different types of teeth which help us in chewing, in grinding, and making the food to in a smaller particles, and then passing through our esophagus through the peristaltic movement. Now, once the food is broken down into different particles, we call them as the digestion. The process of breaking down into smaller substances is called as the digestion. Then the digestion takes place in the stomach, then the absorption of the digested food, then the assimilation of the absorbed food, which is absorbed has to be utilized by the cells in order to obtain energy, and the whatever the undigested food is passed to the digestion, which is in the rectum and the anus. Even in exam for 2 marks question, if they ask you to explain the digest or explain the process of digestion in the form of a flow chart, if you write these flow chart is enough for the 2 marks. You will be able to take the full 2 marks. Right. If the same thing is asked for 5 mark, along with the steps, you have to explain the types of enzymes which are involved. This is very important. There might be a question, right? Um, there might be a question like, what are the enzymes required during the digestion or during the digestion process? Right. Next. Next part. Mm, these are the enzymes. Like in the mouth, what is produced? It is produced as salivary amylase. What does they do? They help in breakdown of the starch. Amylase help in the breakdown of starch. Then stomach is in stomach, the enzyme which is produced is the enzymes. What they do? They break down proteins into smaller peptide. Then small intestine. In small intestine, totally three enzymes are produced. One is the pancreatic amylase, which continues help in breaking down the carbohydrate into a simple form starch, and trypsin break down the peptides into polypeptide and dipeptide. And then the lipase, which help in breakdown of the fat. Then in the small intestine, how these are converted, carbohydrate is converted into maltose, sucrose, and lactose, which is nothing but a part of disaccharide, which is nothing but the component of carbohydrate. Now peptidase, which is a protein which help in breakdown of protein into simple form of protein, which is nothing but the amino acids. Now, next is the respiration. As you know, respiration is nothing but they are the which mostly help in the utilization of oxygen molecules in order to break down the oxygen molecules to obtain energy. But for that, we need us First, the oxygen should enter into our body and it has to be utilized, right? So it is breathing mechanism, which is a physical process. Through inhalation and exhalation, we take the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and with the help of respiratory system, with the help of respiratory system, we utilize the take the excess of carbon dioxide inside our body and help our the spores to utilize the alveoli to utilize this. So where does the mechanism, the carbon dioxide is passed through the nasal cavity, from there to the lower part is the pharynx, through larynx and bronchioles and bronchi and bronchioles, which is covered with a sponge of network tissue, which help in the absorption of the excess of oxygen molecules through alveoli. And alveoli is where the blood vessels are connected, through which the blood vessels take the oxygen molecule to the next level. Okay. Now, as you can see, there is a mechanism through which the respiratory systems takes place, right? These respiratory system can be in the presence. We utilize the respiration breakdown of energy either in the presence of oxygen or in the absence of oxygen. Now, let us quickly differentiate between the aerobic and anaerobic. This aerobic occur in the presence of oxygen, whereas anaerobic, absence of oxygen. Glucose is incompletely oxidized, whereas in anaerobic, glucose is completely oxidized into molecules breakdown. Now end product of aerobic is carbon dioxide and water, whereas the in anaerobic it is carbon dioxide along with lactic acid, which is nothing but the ethyl alcohol also. Here, since it is presence of aerobic, the process is very slow and little energy is produced, whereas in anaerobic the process is very quick and fast, and hence it produces the more amount of energy molecules. Now you can see how the carbon dioxide is reached to our blood vessels. Three through nose, the nasal cavities, from there the tonsils or the pharynx, then larynx is nothing but the epiglottis. That is the just below the neck. It is the epiglottis. Then the tracheae, bronchi, bronchioles, alveoli, and the from alveoli the capillaries, the blood capillaries which are connected to the lungs, it from there through the bloodstream it is passed to the other parts of our body. Now, since that oxygen is utilized for the breakdown of energy, this has to be circulated throughout our body. It has to reach to each and every part of our cell. So this is done through a pumping organ or the circulatory system, where mostly consist of the circulatory system is the blood vessels, the body fluid, and the heart, right? Let us move to each one little briefly so that we can understand how these molecules are circulated throughout our body. This body fluid, which is nothing but consists of blood or which have been suspended with the plasma, it has this different types of blood cells, white, that is RBCs and WBCs, and the platelets. Now, our full body fluid consists of 44 percentage of our RBCs and only 1 percentage of WBC, and the 55, the another 55 percentage of the plasma, which is nothing but other proteins, and the platelets are suspended. Now when you know this composition, you can see the different types of blood cells, the plasma and the other different types of blood cells are there, like basophil, eosinophils, neutrophils. All their work is to protect the immune system from any free radical or any type of infection, how the body can be easily able to protect ourselves. Okay. Yes. Now I'll go a little bit slowly. Now, these are the different types of cells. So you have to remember each one point for each cell. Now, RBCs. RBCs are the mainly help in the transport of substances, oxygen and other molecules from one part of the body to the other part of the body. Right? Yes. Now, these cells are nothing but the type of WBCs which act as a immune booster, which not only help in protection of our body from any kind of infection or pathogen, but it also help our immune system, our body, to give energy to fight against the infection or any kind of diseases. So though they are present in 1% percentage, but still they have a very good impact in our body. Any decrease in the count of WBC will make the immune system weak, or if any increase in these WBC, that is the white blood cells, it is a sign that there is a disturbance in the environment or inside our body, which has to be immediately addressed, or it might be due to infection or might be some other reasons. Okay. Next, now these function of different types of cells. Erythrocyte, which is nothing but the RBCs, transport of oxygen and other carbon dioxide between the tissues to lungs and from lungs to tissues and to other part of the body. Their maximum life cycle is around 120 days. They are usually present between a range of 4.4 to 6 millions, okay, per microliter. That is the count, an average. Okay, leukocytes, which is nothing but the WBC, they help in all the functions of our body, like defending, protecting, fighting. All these are being the function of WBC. Whereas platelets, they maintain the homeostasis. That means, what do you mean by homeostasis? The internal environment of our body, right? They release some growth factors for repairing, for healing. For example, you got a wound, okay, you got hurt or injury, so how these new formation of new cells and new tissues in order to heal the wound, so these platelet help in formation of new cells, and they are range around from 1,50,000 to 5 lakh. Okay, in between that range they are usually present. Now, that is the body fluid. Now, let us move to the type, the blood vessels, the path which help in passage of the blood, so that the blood can be circulated throughout our body. It has to reach to every part of the organ as well as to the tissues. So, as you know, that these arteries and veins are connected to the organ and organ system, and capillaries are the type of blood vessels which connect the both artery and the vein. As you can see here, there is an artery which has a wider opening, whereas the vein which has a narrow opening. Now they have a thick wall, whereas the veins have very thin walls. They help in the thickness layer, whereas the other veins have thickest layer of the blood vessels, and they are generally do not have valves. No, arteries does not have valves, but veins have valves in order to prevent the backflow of blood. So you might have seen, some of them are suffering from varicose vein or the twisting of the veins, in especially mostly in the legs or the thigh portion. That is due to, if the valves are not working properly, the backflow of the blood will make the blood cells to get accumulated in one place and makes the vein to become twisted and swollen also. Swelling also you can see. So this is in the initial condition. As if it's not addressed in the initial days, it might lead to a severe also. Now, in this, the blood flow is under high pressure. That's why they are connected near to the organs, arteries, whereas veins, they have a very less pressure. The blood flow which is coming in the veins is a relatively less pressure when compared to the blood flow in the arteries. Now carbon dioxide level in the blood is low, whereas in the veins is high, because when these arteries are carrying they carry the deoxygenated blood, right? In that the level of carbon dioxide is very low, but these veins are taking the oxygen molecules from the blood and become oxygenated blood, and it is passed to the rest of the body. So that time the level of or the percentage of carbon dioxide will be very high. So here bright in red color, whereas they are dark red in color, mostly the brown you can see. So now how this oxygenated and deoxygenated blood is pumped to the all the organs, to all the other organs as well as the other part of the tissues. So it is through the pumping organ, we call them as the human heart, right? Now these human heart, yes, now human heart, I have always taught you to remember like this, right? So there are four chambers of our heart: right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, and left ventricle. And these two are left and right chambers is separated through a septum, which prevent the mixing of oxygenated blood, right? So the first, as you can see here, the first inferior vena cava carries the deoxygenated blood and enter into, as you can see, just see the arrow mark. How does the blood is traveling? How it will enter? Sorry, it will enter into the lungs and carry the oxygen molecules and again back to the heart, and from the heart it will pass to the rest part of our body. The first one is inferior vena cava. From here, thus from the inferior part of the body, that is from the different parts of the body, the blood is entering from the inferior vena cava, enter into the right atrium, which is in sky blue color in the picture which you are observing. From there, it will enter into the right atrium through the tricuspid valve. From there, pulmonary valve is there. This pulmonary valve is connected to the left part of the lung, and this pulmonary artery this side is connected to the right part of the lungs. From there they take the uh, enough oxygen molecules and they enter into the left atrium. From left atrium to the right atrium, this is mitral valve. From the left atrium to the right atrium ventricle, there is a mitral valve which help in proper control of the blood pressure, how much amount of blood has to be pumped at a time. So from the mitral valve, aortic valve, as you can see here, there are another there, one, two, that is tricuspid, pulmonary valve, mitral valve, and the aortic valve. From the aortic valve, it enter into the aorta, and from there to the superior vena cava to the rest part of the body, downside portion, which is connected to the renal system. The blood is slowly passed into it. Okay, and now as we have discussed that around 70 percentage of the oxygen is utilized by the brain, as it's a most sensitive organ of our body which control the whole body mechanism. So it required a lot of energy. So among those, the 70 percentage of oxygen is being utilized by only the brain. The rest 30 percentage is sent back to the rest of the body for their breakdown of their energy molecules. Now, since it is showing here the from other parts of the body, the blood which is entering into the right atrium and right ventricle, we call them as the systemic circulation. Systemic circulation. This part is called as the systemic. From body part, vena cava, right atrium, right ventricle, and pulmonary artery. This full part is called as the systemic circulation. And from here, it is going to the, from lungs, it is moving to the pulmonary vein, to the left atrium, to the left ventricle, then aorta, and then to the body part. So this portion is called as the pulmonary circulation, systemic circulation, and this side is the pulmonary circulation. In that case, the blood enters the heart twice. So it is called as the double circulation or double circulation. I hope till here it is clear. Next part. As you can see here, systemic circulation and pulmonary circulation, both twice, since they are entering into the heart, so it is called as the double circulation. When the blood enters into the lungs, it's called as the pulmonary, and when it is enter into the other parts of the body or the body tissue, we call them as the systemic circulation. This is one of the important 5 mark question process. Important this thing. Now, transport of plants. How does the plant transport? Do they have also lungs? Do they have heart or any other thing? No, they have some specialized tissue called as the vascular bundles. We call them as xylem and phloem. Hence, they are also called as the conducting tissues. They are called as the conducting tissues. Right. So, till now, is any doubt? Ma, please respond. The student, those who are watching, please try to respond to me so that I can move ahead. Shall we move? Yes. Yes. So, shall we start? Yes, now vascular bundles. Now, as they, they are also known as the conducting tissue. What they are called as? They are called as the conducting tissue because they conduct the water and food through osmotic pressure. So, since the pressure has been created from the ground to the till the tip of the plant has to receive the water molecules through osmosis or through the osmotic pressure, the water molecules and minerals are pushed towards the upside, so it is called as the unidirectional because it is moving at It is moving in the upward direction. So these xylems are help in the conduction of water and minerals. So these water and minerals are nothing but the are help in the conduction of water, like you can see, as you can see here, how the water molecules and the minerals are moving upward with the help of xylem elements like xylem tracheates, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma, and the fibers, which help in storage, modification of the food and transportation of the water molecules. Whereas in phloem, this xylem also provide a mechanical support, a type of movement in unidirectional, because it is moving from the ground, that is from the soil, the roots. From the roots, the water and the minerals are pushed towards the the upward directional. So it is in a single form. So these are called as the xylem, the conducting cells, which are dead but still they perform by osmotic pressure. Now next is a phloem, which is also known as the food conducting tissue. Now these are helping whatever the photosynthesis, once it has been prepared food, it has to pass. How it will pass? It will pass with the help of the organic materials like the plant, which contain mostly the living cells. Okay, and it mostly consists of sieve tube sieve cells, phloem parenchyma, and the companion cells and phloem fibers. Their location is on the outer side of the plant, mostly in the leaf, on the sides of the branches, so where the photosynthesis is taking place. But this will go in both the direction, like upward as well as downward, because the food which is prepared through photosynthesis has to be circulated to all the parts of the body, right? So it is a bidirectional. The transported food materials, those preparation takes place in the green part of the plant, especially the leaves. Now, phloem constitute a small part of the body but help by transporting the food materials to all the parts of the plant, which help in overall growth and development of the body of the plant cells. Now, next we have the excretory system. Now all transportation, all circulation and utilization of the nutrient is all done, but during this all process there are few waste materials which are produced in our body. It might be a solid or a liquid, or it can be a gaseous form. So for that, the removal takes place in the excretory system. An excretory system consists of a pair of kidney, right? It is a biological system. It is a biological system that help us to remove the waste product from our body, an excess of substances which are not required, which we cannot retain our in our body. So those waste materials has to be removed out in from our body. And that is like, for example, lungs will produce the carbon dioxide outside. So carbon dioxide is a waste product for the human beings. Then in the form of sweat we remove the some of the waste material, the nitrogenous waste. And also the kidney, which play a very important role in excretory system, and liver, large intestine, lungs, they also play a role in the excretion. The kidney, which are known as the primary organs for filtration of blood and formation of urine in our body. So this help in not only storage, bladder is a temporary storage and excreted through the urethra. Yes. Now you can see that a renal system consists of. Can you give me the charger, Buta? These beans are shaped organs. It is a bean shaped organ, and it used to filter laptop bag. Okay, waste product from the blood, regulate the water and electrolytic balance. Okay, till that, just I will just connect the chargers so that. Okay, thank you, Aris. Aris, the charger is there on Hima. Can you pass the laptop charger? No, another 5, 10. You finished? I will check. Yes. Now, kidney, these are the part of the renal system, that is kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, urethra, skin, and no, skin is one of the which help in removing the waste, but this is not a part of the renal system. Okay, liver help in removing the toxics and prepare for the removal of the removal by the kidney, and large intestine remove solid waste from our body through digestion, and lungs remove carbon dioxide and a waste product of cellular respiration. Okay, so this is also help us to remove. So the next is the main is the renal chief excretory organ in our body. As you can see here, a kidney is a bean shaped, dark brown in color, made up of two layers, that is the outer cortex and the inner medulla. The outer cortex made up of the connective tissue, which is a covering called as the capsule, and the renal pyramid and the renal artery, renal vein, urethra, and the calicus. Now, calicus is a space where the urine is being collected. From there only it will come to the ureter, and from there. Now, these renal pyramids consist of millions of nephrons suspended in it. Now, these nephrons are the structural and functional unit of kidney. Now, as you can see here, there is a glom. As you can see the structure there, the nephron structure is divided into two part. One is the malfibrin cells. Okay, now you can see here there is a this is the structure of nephron. It's look complicated, but it's not a complicated structure. It is a very simple. If you want to learn the diagram. So, this is the structure of nephron, which helps in the filtration of blood and formation of urine. Now, ultrafiltration is the first steps where the filtration of the substances takes place. And once the substances are filled, now the filtrate will be taken up by and reabsorb, selective reabsorption of these substances like amino acids, proteins, carbohydrates, urea, uric acid. These are all being filtered from the glomerulus filtrate. Now let us move to the step by step so that it will be easy for you to understand. That is the first step is the ultrafiltration. So what happens in the ultrafiltration? These nephron, uh, these are the parts of nephron. During the ultrafiltration, the filtration of the blood occur under a very high pressure in the nephron of the kidney. So what happens? This glomerulus filter is there. The efferent molecules which are attached which have a wider opening, they will where the all the filtrate is covered in the cup like structure called Bowman's capsule, and the tubular portion where only the filtrate, glomerulus filtrate, will only pass. So those glomerulus filtrate consist of the water, glucose, salt, urea, vitamins, and some of the uric acid in the filtrate. Now, this filtrate is passed to the tubular portion, where the tubular portion is nothing but the glomerulus filtrate once again. Yeah, here you can, as you can see here, see here, the renal, the bunch of here glomerulus filtrate and tubular part of nephron. This tubular part of nephron, where PCT, that is proximal convoluted tubule, is passed through this tube-like structure and reach through the loop of Henle. Loop of Henle till that portion, that is from the proximal to the loop of Henle, all the selective substances, as I mentioned, like glucose, amino acids, proteins, and some of the salt molecules are taken back, that is absorbed, and can be absorbed and sent back to the through the bloodstream. Whatever is collected in the DCT, that is distal convoluted tubule, it contain a high concentration of the urine along with some of the water molecules and some of the excess of salt. Now here in the DCT, again there are few more substances like water, excess of water, and the, yeah, once ultrafiltration is done, these flow through the proximal convoluted tubule, the U shape, Henle's loop, and the distal convoluted. Selective reabsorption of the filtrate in order to maintain the water balance through a process of osmoregulation. And the third step is the tubular secretion. This tubular secretion, what happens? Whatever the collected uh, Now, what is this tubular secretion? The substances such as urea, uric acid, potassium ions, these are very toxic chemicals for our body. These chemicals are completely has to be removed from our body, and they are highly concentrated. That gives a color to the urine, no, which is highly concentrated, which is a pale yellow in color. Now these are added and collected in the collecting duct. We call them as the tubular secretion because it is secreted in the tubular portion of the nephron, that is in the collecting duct. These collecting ducts then drop the urine which is formed in the control of excretion. All will be taken up by the voluntary nervous. With the help of the voluntary nervous control system, such as urinary bladder, as the bladder expand and the pressure create the urge to pass the urine. This is the fourth step. So there are totally four steps in the formation of urine, and this help in the formation of urine. Yes. Yes, I hope this was very helpful. Can we get the PDF? Sure. You can, I'll just post this PDF in my link. Just a minute, I'll share the link so that you all can download it from this. Okay, just a minute. By the time, oh, chemistry, Daivik, you want chemistry? I have informed you, Numan, earlier that I need some time. Mm, I share the link. Anybody has doubt? Yes, as soon as possible. Yeah, chemistry also I'll do it. You need to wait. This amazing world of student. Who is this? May I know the name? What is this Devi game over? Yes, another 5 minutes. What is that light, man? It's loading. Wait, I'll paste. I'll just make the. Okay, is this Aisha? Okay, is it Aisha? Okay. No, just a doubt. I want to know whether you have any doubt, so that I can end, so that by the way, good name, Aisha. Your name, amazing world of students. I like the name. Girishma, you are not doing it, ma'am. I started long back, dear. Girishma, you can just rewind it and you can watch it, dear. Yeah, I think now I will paste. I'll just load. It's loading. Yeah. Wait, I'll just paste the link. Okay. Yes, I have. I'm going to paste the link where you'll get the all the PDF. Okay. Yeah, you can. I will paste it here. The full PDF file I'm going to send. Okay, so that you can easily get the PDF file with the detail with the diagrams also. Just a second. Mm, once confirm, once you receive, I'm going to do it now. The full PDF. Yeah, important question. From this chapter, mostly they will ask for one 3 mark question and one case study base, as per my. But the main questions will be from the second chapter, that is control and coordination. Since control and coordination, uh, just check ma whether it has received or not. That file I'm posted in the this link. You have to go to this link, okay? Then follow the channel, and I mean that is a WhatsApp only. It's a there I have posted. I'm just sending that file. It's loading. Okay, it's loading. No way, it is not. Who is this brainless? Who is Devi? Who is this brainless? Huh? Wait. No, it isn't. The file is not attaching here. Yeah, yeah, I'm sending in the group. So I'm trying to attach that file. It is not attaching. It's there. I think we are not. There is no option. Community join the community. I have shared the link, no dear. Which community? Group link I pasted. Man, just wait here. You have nicely. Okay, okay. In description, I'll try to attach. That I have posted one question. No answer. That what are the enzymes produced during the digestion process? Let me see how many of you are able to tell me. Case studies mostly they might ask you from the excretory system or anything. Diagram also can be asked for 2 marks. Okay, now I will end it. You have to go and start studying chemistry and physics also. The other two part is also there, right? You please finished. Shall we end? Bhubalan, any doubt, Bhubalan, if you have? Any doubt, if you have, Bhubalan, let me know. Pepsin, bile, trypsin, and lipase. Very good, Aisha. Lipase is also one of the enzyme which is produced, help in the fat, okay, breakdown of fat molecules. Lipase. Okay, now I will end the Zoom so that you people can go and start this thing. Okay.